All right. Good
Hey,
afternoon,
good
everybody.
afternoon. We have to have this time to have lunch together. We're in the same building, for God's sake. What is happening that we had to wait for this to have lunch? I'm so excited to be
Indeed.
here.
2 years, and we're finally able to share some quality time
I
together.
know it's because we wave at each other. We both work very hard in our space. I'm so excited to be with you. And in your
Well,
kitchen, am I in your kitchen?
you're in my kitchen, I'm in your kitchen.
I
So,
love that.
for all of those people out there wondering what's going on, we'd like to welcome you folks to another edition of our Boxed Lunch episode here at the Fort Worth Community Arts Center. And today, to wrap up our November, we have the lovely and talented Deborah Jung with us. How you doing today, Deborah?
Good. What a lovely invitation. That doesn't normally happen to me at lunch on a Monday. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. I love being here.
Deborah, before we dive into all the details, would you mind just introducing yourself and tell
Oh,
us
I'd
a
love
little
to.
bit about who you are and what it is you do?
Yeah. I'm Deborah Jung, and my title is Executive Director of Kids Who Care. I founded it 32 years ago
Wow.
because there was this idea I had about how we take care of our children in the arts, and I wanted to design a place initially just for the summer. I wanted to design a place where kids got to be in a production that had all the bells and whistles that all of us as professionals get, but everybody who was in the room with them believed in them. Because what I started to see was, as a full-time actress and always teaching in a theater company atmosphere, was that even the kid who just say, okay, I want you to switch the lights on, their courage just increases 1,000-fold when you get to work together, and especially in something highly creative and where you find a niche for everybody. And at the end of the day, you hope the audience stands up and applauds. It changes you. And so I wanted to create a place, an environment for kids that had all the things I loved about being a professional, but with the kids right in the center of it, just taking care of them as people first, because not everybody's going to grow up to be a professional actor, actress, director. You and I both work in the arts. That's cool, but it's not the end game. You know, how do you think? Do you have courage to say what you think? Can somebody hear you? You and I both know we have the tools in theater to give people a lot of power in
Yes.
front of a group of people, and lots of children just need somebody to believe in. So, Kids Who Care is musical theater. It is theater. I'm as much a lover of Shakespeare as I am of Peter Pan. It is entrepreneur leadership, because as soon as I started it, I went, oh dear, we should tell them what power is and tell them what we think power is and isn't. That's muy important. And so over time, it's the combustion of musical theater, entrepreneur leadership, and family. And what happens to a child when they grow up in an environment where people believe they're unstoppable. They're
Yeah.
unstoppable. So I love, this is what I do every day, and I'm just missing that kids aren't hanging out with me right now except through Zoom. Thank God for Zoom, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you make some great points. I've had the privilege of watching some of the Kids Who Care performances, and it's really amazing to me how you guys not only focus on the arts, but also use those as a tool to grow people. And
yeah.
it's quite interesting. You say over 30 years. Can you talk a little bit about the graduate process, I guess, of some of the people that I'm assuming came in as babies, and I
Yeah.
believe, honestly, are even a part of your operating crew now as well. I'm thinking
Yeah, I think
specifically of
what's so
people like,
cool is, if you raise children who match the company. So a child who finds us at age 4 or 10 or whatever age and finds their people. I'm in a company that believes in me. I want to be creative. I also love math. I want to think mathematically too. All those things together. And then you raise them and they become accustomed to a company that believes they should be proactive and change the world. Hey, by the way, don't just create great art, use your art to say something, right? Then you grow people who I used to say, hello, when you have children, send me your kids. And they were like, I'm like, okay, I'm in my 30s. Maybe they'll have children. Maybe they'll get married. Well, what happens is they do grow up. And so our resident lighting designer, production manager grew up in the company. Chad grew up in the company, has more information than I do because I didn't grow up in it. I mean, I invented it, but it's different. He's this beautiful lighting designer. You know Chad's work, gorgeous. He's our production manager. David Lanza,
Yes.
who both of these guys were on stage, and they were adorable and great on stage, dancers, singer, actors. David Lanza, discovering sound was his mode of creativity. And then inside the staff, Amanda Williams Ware, who grew up in the company, is part of development. I mean, that side of our brains we love. We love to figure out how to raise money, how to create a budget. So many people come in and out of our lives that grew up in the company, which keeps us strong. I don't worry when people say, what will happen, Deborah? One day, I guess retire or die. I'm not sure which. And I just go, it's okay. I mean, there's already a 4-year-old who's directing me.
Yep.
So yeah, growing children. And I think honestly, Jason, our kids believe they're running the company. We have a Kid Power Leadership Board. They report to our board of directors. Yes, adults are running the company, but we go to them with large decisions. And you can trust a kid to tell you the truth. And you can trust a kid to help you with the next innovation. So I think people who decide they want to come back to Fort Worth, or people who are now working for us that live in other cities. I mean, now the fact that Taylor O'Toole, who was Peter Pan and Dorothy, now lives in New York. Well, now she's working for us because guess what? We're virtual. Yay. So Taylor O'Toole was teaching a dance class from London. So I totally trust you have to have new people pop into your life, shake it up, tell you a better way to do it. We totally trust that. But inside the DNA of our company are people who own that idea, believing in kids and what they can do to change the world. When you have those people, they keep us on track.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can speak from personal experience in regards to Chad and David. They are two of the best in the business, not only in the DFW area, but of any of lighting and sound that I've had the privilege to work with. They are two of the top in their field.
Well, and kind. Jason, I think what's so cool is if you look at the top of the house in the run of a show, yes, David Lanza, Chad are there, but next to him might be a 13-year-old running the mic. Because they trust, they were the 13-year-old. You can take a kid, you should take kids seriously. They have great ideas, and so they have a very high trust. So they're also already creating generations of, those kinds of designers. And what I love the most about David and Chad is Chad will go to Sydney, Australia, design lights on that kind of opera budget, right? And then he comes back and hangs out with us. So David also touring. So both of them have this wealth of information that they choose to bring back and mentor the next. They also don't care if they do this for a living. It's like, okay, you learn sound design. You're going to be an English teacher. Awesome, go. Peace, power be with you. Because when you talk to them, they are not hung up on, this is not a conservatory.
Right.
Kids Who Care is not trying to produce only actors, singers, dancers. You're a better dentist if you know how to sing. So we've got people in all kinds of careers who are extraordinarily good people. That's what we care about.
And what a far and wide reach. I just want to continue to touch on that a little bit because I think it's so important. Now, you guys normally have an international summer camp that brings kids in from all over the world. And I know that we've had some discussions in some of our other gatherings about how you dealt with that. And I think that it's really interesting because you got way out there virtually. And I remember you saying something about how you were using some of those connections to create your next show. Do you mind talking a little bit about that?
Yeah, here's what's so cool. The very first time we came to the theater in 1989, I was just doing a summer stock company for kids, right? And I'd been on stage with the Scott, and so we came to the theater with a show called Free to Be You and Me. So Marlo Thomas, all these Shel Silverstein, all these brilliant poets, songwriters, put together a piece that was a song, a piece of poetry, a piece of prose. And when you put it together, it spoke to something, some kind of change. Let people be free to be who they are, right? So from the very beginning, this idea that we came together in the first summer, and we had 3 Italians because Sister Cities was starting. And so from the very beginning, there were children who came to Texas to be part of something that mattered. So if we spring forward 32 years later, by the second summer, we realized, oh, well, we can't find what we need, a collection of poetry, prose, songs, speaking to how to change the world, not what kids want to do.
Sure.
What would you change, we say to our kids. So over these years, every single year, we start in September talking to our kids who tour and say, what would you change in the world? They name it. We name it. They write. A group of Texas songwriters, poets all write, and we produce it in the summer. Kids come from around the world. They're part of something that matters. So Russia, China, Australia. I mean, when we had 2 kids from Latvia, it was like, whoa, cool. And Mexico and Switzerland and all these places would come, and Israeli kids talking to German kids, 5 or 6 languages. That's normal for us. That's a normal summer. What isn't normal is that they didn't get to come. So what happened it's the thing we've dreamed of forever. So this year, we couldn't tour. Can't tour a show to change the world, right? So those 50 or so kids need something to do. So we created this thing called Project 2020 Plus. What is 2020 like? What's the light? What's the ding? What are you learning? And we first did a call out to our kids around us. Guys, you can't tour. Do you want to write the show? Like every week, we'll write together. Bring your video cameras if you're a singer, if you're a dancer, if you're a graphic artist, right? And then we went, oh my God, we could invite our world to come because we know all those people. So Catherine Albright, who is our international relations person, contacted all these countries and said, guys, you want to meet and write a show together this year? You could be with. So now we have Mexico, Australia, Luxembourg, Germany. China will be there before the year is over. So at the beginning, the idea was, wouldn't it be great to write with kids from around the world? But now because of Zoom, we are.
Yes.
So we have kids I'm talking 1st grade through 12th, and also young adults are all meeting, constantly writing, what is our now? So now when we get to next year, it won't be just the Texas idea of what do we want to change in the world, it's the world.
Wow.
I mean, it's astounding, Jason.
Yeah, it's so inspiring, just the numbers that have gone through the Kids Who Care formats and things over the years. I'm just so intrigued. I mean, what a fantastic program. So have you guys been in the Scott Theater since day one?
Day one. What happened was I was on stage. Bill Garber directed me. Yep. We all know Garber Hall. A bunch of us still know Garber, darling man. Nobody was using the theater. And so when I finished the summer, I'd been doing a couple of summers in my church basement, this thing called Kids Who Care, because in the summer, believe it or not, there weren't theater camps. And I went, well, we should have a camp. So I finished my Shakespeare season, and we did this camp in July. And when we did it in July at the Scott, it changed. What happened was we had no money to buy advertising. We just said, come, it's free. It was packed. We got a standing ovation, and then the parents said, so what's next? And I went, what is next? So when I started it, I wasn't going, I need to create a new theater company. I was just going, what did just happen? Kids from around the world told adults what was most important to them. That's cool. So I went, oh, well, let's do a touring company. And so I asked Garber, I said, Bill, it was a very adult building. There were no children, except during Wise Men. No children. I said, Bill, what do you think about me? We could do a touring company, and then those kids should take classes. And he went, sounds good to me. For 6 years, we were under their umbrella. We just grew. We incubated, is what they call it now. We didn't know we were incubating, but we were. And so for 6 years, we were under Fort Worth Theater's umbrella, and we started touring and writing original works and creating a theater school that was not basic acting 101, 102. It was like Shakespeare. I just called my friends and said, what do you want to teach? Well, I'm great at puppets. You're teaching it. Done. And that's still the model. This model is there is a tour happening every year because our kids are going to go tell the world what they would change, right? And you should train. You should get better at what you do. You should hire the best teachers who love kids. Don't hire people who don't like kids. Even our accountant likes kids. Otherwise, we're not, I'm over it. When I started the company, I was mid-30s. I was like, I don't have to put up with people who are ugly. So anyway, yeah, so we've been there since. And honestly, so 32 years. My first office, Jason, you're going to love this. I don't think you know this, was the closet where the education closet is now, just inside the stage. That was our first office.
That's
beautiful.
Pretty cool. That is pretty neat.
Yeah, so yes, we've been there. We love the building. Chad, David, who grew up there, it's home. It's home
Yes.
to us. Yeah.
And treated as such. It's really, you guys have been so gracious. I've only been there a couple of years, and I'm not sure I would have survived without David and Chad's help, for sure.
No kidding. No kidding. Aren't they the best?
They really are. And Deborah, we'll get to the lunch stuff here in a minute. What is something about the Fort Worth Community Arts Center and the Scott Theater in general that people may not know about? What would you tell them to encourage them to come check out a show or possibly even rent the space?
I mean, I believe it is one of the best venues in the city. It's 63 seats or something. It's stadium seating before stadium seating was cool, right? There's not a bad seat in the house. It's got beautiful fly space. So you can fly Peter Pan. It's a stunning venue. The chandelier is from Murano, Italy. That is Venetian glass. It is a stunning place to experience theater because you're in it. You're close, but you have this stunning actual theater space, the proscenium, the fly space. It's remarkable. It is a beautiful place to experience theater. And what I love about it is how many people use it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. And the galleries are packed next door all the time. And there's events. I just think the management, Karen, and all of you that are there, Karen Wiley and Marla Owen, and all the people who have been there along the way, really saying to the world, come in and see somebody's art. Walk next door and see a show. It's not a single company in this space. I mean, we're on that stage 5 times a year.
Right.
We live there. We train there. Our children are educated there. But it's a vibrant, people need to come to the corner. It has rich history. History.
It really does. And, that was one of the biggest things for me whenever I came aboard, was just to be able to say that I was part of that history and that legacy that theater has had. It's really a fantastic space. And yes, it has its eccentricities, but
I live in a house built in 1926. It has its eccentricities, but it has character.
Oh,
and
yes.
when you look at the opening, to imagine that the Dallas Theater Center did a run of show in that space.
Yeah.
I trained with Paul Baker, who ran the Dallas Theater Center, and to think that he and Bill Garber were in that space together. I mean, its bones are built in people who were Paul Baker was a world-renowned theater artist, and so the bones of that building, oh my gosh, are exceedingly important. They're exceedingly important.
What a great part of Fort Worth history, for sure. So,
yeah.
Well, Deborah, what is on your lunch menu today?
I was starting to start eating these grapes. Well, I'm going to make something, but this is sort of like dessert, and I'm going to eat one. I'm sorry I didn't deliver this to you.
Well, that's okay. Quite all right.
There's a place called Chicken Salad Chick, singular, that has Billy Kinlow, she and I worked together, discovered it. But the grape salad, oh my God, with pecans and brown sugar. This is really dessert. But I learned from my grandmother Murphy, you should have dessert right near whatever you're eating, because you might want to start on it, right? It has, I don't know, it has like maybe some yogurt and sour cream. All I know is it's delicious and healthy. Look.
Well, it absolutely looks delicious, and I've had their chicken salad sandwiches before, and they are
To
fantastic.
die for. To die for. Then the other stuff, really, this is what I would be doing if I'd left the office and come home. I have a little turkey left. I've done sandwiches. I've reheated it. Have to stop doing that. Now what I'm doing is it's a salad, so it's like there's one thing weird about this salad that I do have to tell you. So there's normal stuff, like I love bell peppers and I love cucumbers and the little tiny onions. I love those. And these are called cherub tomatoes. The name is cute. They are delicious. And of course, you have to have an avocado and you have to put sunflower seeds. You sprinkle those on. And this family has lots of cheese. We have lots of mozzarella. We always have lots of sharp cheddar. But here's what's weird that maybe you should try is when Dexter and I started dating, my husband and I started dating, for some weird reason, one day we fixed this salad to go with something else. And we took mushrooms and we were sauteing them. So I have some garlic butter behind me. We were sauteing them, and instead of putting it on the steak we had, we just put it on the salad. And I know it's weird. It's warm. I'm just going to put these over here. It's warm. It's weird to put something warm on a salad, maybe, you know. But these are like a little butter, real butter, not margarine, real butter, a little slab of that, and a little garlic, and then the mushrooms. And what happens is when you put all this delicious salad together right before you eat it, this is also what I put on my steaks. When we're fixing steaks, we pour some of this on. You just drizzle a little of that, and you put these warm mushrooms on the salad to die for. I know it's weird. It's like warm food on a cold salad, but it's delicious.
It sounds.
What are you eating?
It sounds absolutely amazing. So I went through the whole Thanksgiving leftovers as well. Didn't seem to last as long this time because there just, I guess, wasn't as many people at the dinner table this year as I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Going through. So the leftovers went quick. They were like gone.
I hate that. Yeah.
So I have to look here because I am losing my ability to speak and read at the same time.
Okay, I'm looking today's menu.
Charcuterie board, I believe it's called. I don't know if I said that right.
I need to add this to my vocabulary, and I need to spell it. Is that French? Yeah. Yes. Good.
I have no idea. Everybody keeps talking about it, and I've seen quite a bit throughout the year. So I'm going to jump straight to presentation here. And
look, we have the same peppers. Look at us.
Little,
and grapes. Hello.
Charcuterie board. So I had some jalapeno and cheese sausage there, and some crackers, and then of course I threw in the grapes and the celery and the peppers there. I had a little bit of cheese spread left over, so I'll use that as well. And that's my lunch.
Oh, it's like when you show up wearing the same outfit, same colors, because you've talked to somebody. We were on the same wavelength because we have almost the same menu.
Absolutely.
Just mixed up a little differently.
And I had a whole pumpkin pie to myself. So I figured maybe I should turn a corner on Monday. Try to eat something a little bit.
Pumpkin pie? Did you eat
all
of it?
The pumpkin pie is gone. And I even threw in a cinnamon roll or two there as well. And there might have been some banana pudding as well as some of the pumpkin pie. So there was some good and bad about not being able to gather as a complete unit with my family, because there were a lot of desserts left over that normally I would not have had the opportunity to enjoy. But
all you have to do is substitute breakfast, pumpkin pie for breakfast. Well, I think those are the food groups. You just don't have a whole meal. Just have it for the meal.
I had brunches, I had midnight snacks, I had all kinds of wonderful opportunities to enjoy those desserts. So that was a highlight because I might have to do a little bit of walking over the next couple of weeks just to.
Yes,
Just to
well,
work
we
some.
all are. We all are going to have to walk a whole lot more in spring 2021.
There is no doubt about it. So,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
So, Deb, I know you talked a little bit about this, but I am kind of curious to get a broader idea. How has Kids Who Care been reacting and continuing to react amidst the COVID pandemic now, what, 9
Yeah,
months later?
yeah, it's really important. I think what's interesting is in March when it all happened, we went into super duper overdrive, right? So we were finishing our tour with our kids. Chad, who you've mentioned, created a docu-musical with all of us. He led us. He created an actual film version of what the kids did not get to finish in person. That was amazing. We did our Cooking for Kids as a simulcast. That was great. Then I was, busy. My response to these kinds of things is get moving. So we did. We were doing relaxation every afternoon on Zoom. I was doing a story time every morning. And we did some power bites, teaching adults how to use these superpowers of kids. Then when we got to May and realized, summer is not coming, and canceled Matilda, we just took the opportunity to pause and say, okay, this is going to go for a while. Responding quickly to docu-musicals and simulcasts and all those things we pulled off, but then you have to pull back and say, and how much did that, if we do another docu-musical, how much is that? It's the same as an entire musical in person, right?
Yes.
The reality of it is. So what we did is, after lots of talking, I just said out loud, we're virtual till we're not. What that happened was we decided to do what we knew would be real. And we're still saying we're virtual till we're not. We'll know. And luckily, we live in the Arts Center, and y'all have been very conservative and protective. And so, for me, as the executive director, safety of our clients was the most important thing, and health for our staff. Keeping our full-time staff full-time, keeping them, thank God for things like the PPP and preserve the fort. So, thank God for those things. And we're very prudent. We're thrifty, so making the decision to be safe no matter what. So the reason we've stayed virtual is I know if I'm virtual, the child that I'm getting up close to work on Charlie Brown is not going to get COVID from me.
Right.
And so that's been our mantra. And what I do know is it's why it's stressful now. It's good stress to know, how long will the vaccine take? That's a good problem. But we'll stay virtual till we partner with the Arts Center in a way that we feel a child won't be sick. Here's the thing. This is not brain surgery. I love my career as an artist, but it's not worth someone being sick because they wanted to do a show.
Yeah.
We can do shows like this. And isn't it fun to watch all of our Live Theater League friends and parking lots and Zooms? You just have to retranslate it. These are highly creative, resourceful people, artists.
Yes.
Plus, Jason, I have to say, we have been pivoting for 32 years, and most of our staff has worked together for 20 years or over. There are some newcomers that have been there for 10 years.
Yeah.
But this is family who, at the end of the day, no profit is worth someone getting sick to our company. So I hope next July kids will come from all over the world to do a show that they wrote together. But if they don't, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, no doubt. The arts have always been a bit of feast and famine throughout the course of history. And so I've joked a couple of times that it seems like artists in general are already a little attuned to tightening the belt, using what you have.
Yes.
And so it's been quite interesting and honestly very encouraging to see all of the different ways that people have been creative, community oriented, and really started to come together. I think it's important that you bring up the Live Theater League in Tarrant County.
Yeah.
And I believe those are 17 or 18 of some of the most invested people that I've ever had the privilege to work alongside. And just to hear all the ideas and the collective nature of that particular group has been quite encouraging. And
well, and I think for them too, there's a history amongst these theaters who
yes,
spawned from one or two. So it is also family. It's familial. And they stopped meeting once a month and we were meeting once a week. And already we were in the habit of sharing. We're not competing. We'll say,
right.
my ticket sales are down. What's going on with you? So that culture was already there to share information. And I love Joe Brown. I love his leadership. He's real. Yeah, I think for us, what's great, Jason, is our scholarships have been always 25 to 30% of our kids. And what's happening now is we have more scholarship kids because they can join us.
Right.
You know, virtually a kid who's at Cook Children's is on scholarship. Well, good. We're right in your room with you.
Yeah.
And so I think for us, it's opened up the global community, our global community. It's opened up teachers. We're hiring teachers from around the country. Kids are taking classes that are from other cities. So our world in the best way has expanded to it be more inclusive. Yeah. Do we want to be on the front porch? Yeah. Can we? Nope. Not until we know we're safe. And you're going to help us do that, Jason.
Oh, we are trying to keep the boat afloat for sure. I have to give you a compliment. Your relaxation series got me through a couple of days.
Are you serious?
Oh yes,
Jason. I'm going to move my mushrooms. Jason, I have to say this to you. When our kids grow up and go away, they'll call me and say, "I'm about to audition. I just did the relaxation." Or they'll say, "I did the relaxation last night before my math test." I'm promising you out loud, we're going to get it back on FaceTime because we paused for the summer thinking, if I do that every single day and story time, how will I do a show? Well, we didn't do a show, but I think we need it back. I think the wellness factor is super. I didn't know you came. That makes
I showed up on a couple of them. I'm not going to lie either. I even caught a few story times that I enjoyed immensely.
Rick Morrison, who some of you may not know, but Rick Morrison, who has been in our life building sets for us from the beginning of time. When I saw him on Storytime, I called him and went, "Rick, was that you?" He went, "Yeah, Deb, I'm having my breakfast. I'm listening to Storytime." So I think for us, that's the thing that's keeping us floating is we just need to stay connected. We know things. We need to share things. I'm calling you first to let you know that relaxation will be back because we got to get it back, right?
Yes, and I will be the first to agree with that shirt. Kids Who Care is not just for kids.
It's not. You just never grow up. You have to be well behaved as children and adults. You know, we don't put up with ill behave. We teach them to not be. But children are geniuses. They keep it young.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Deb, I'm curious, what helpful community resources are you seeing or using personally or professionally, and how can your organization be assisted or provide assistance to other artists and organizations?
I think for me, my personally, as in the job that I have a weekly, the Live Theater League for sure is a resource, literally a resource.
Yes.
Funding for ideas. I have an executive directors group, a small group of executive directors that have, for the last couple of years, have met once a month. We meet weekly now. And so I can say to other people, what's scaring you? That scares me too. What are you doing? I think a lot of our focus is how to be a resource for other kids, because when a kid comes to do a Charlie Brown studio or a vocal studio, they are not muted. So much of our children, they're on Zoom. They have to be muted. The entire idea of coming to be in a creative place that is about wellness is, for parents, when they think my kid is Zoomed too much, I've Zoomed all day, but as soon as I get to that moment creatively, it's a release. So I'm not talking about kids who are dancing in your living room. I'm just talking about people in general. So I think we are a wellness. We are Art Heals was our sign on Montgomery, Art Heals and Art Connects. And then I think for people to know that right now, because everything is Zoom, we're virtual till we're not, you can take a class if you live in Las Vegas or if you have a grandchild who needs this and they live in Louisiana, they can take a class. We now have times. I'm now having to go New York time, London time. Where are you? California time, you know? So we're having to state things in time zones. How cool is that? So we want to be a resource for kids who can't afford us. That's always been true. Call us if your child needs this in their lives. Call us. We want to be a resource for wellness. Come listen to a story time. Come be with us. These people are kind. Yeah, small groups of people are helping me through.
Wow, yeah, there's some great information there as well. So Deb, is your lunch done, or do you have to take all of those ingredients and throw them together?
Well, after I speak with you, I'll chop them up. I was just having too much fun to chop. I actually would need practice. You would have to say, Deb, chop. I'd go, okay. I follow directions. I could have been chopping while I was talking, but
well, the information is far more.
Although I am going to stick around and at least eat the grapes.
Well, there you go. Fair enough. That's why I did mine a little earlier today, because I knew that you would have some fantastic information as well. So I guess we'll move on and wrap this up so we can get to our lunch. But I'm curious to know, and this is probably the most important question that I have for you today, how and where can people find out about Kids Who Care and also continue to keep in contact with them and see what wonderful programs you do have available?
I mean, the best thing, first of all, to get the whole view is the website, because you can find out what are the classes. It'll take you straight away to them. And it'll also tell you about how to apply for a scholarship. Go to the website, the hub. The other thing is just call us or email us and give us your email and your cell if you want. So when we do have Facebook Live events, you're going to get a specific invitation. When we are saying, hey guys, you know, we're going to perform at the symphony. Do you want to join us? Does your kid want to audition? So getting inside our world on our constant contact, so we bother you. You know, I love it when I get constant contacts from the groups I love. I either have time or I don't, you know, delete or not. So I think going to our website is always first. And then from there, you can find Kids Who Care does have a Facebook page.
Yep.
And we do have things happening everywhere, but really that's the best bet. And, you know, Chad is our webmaster. So that same thing you see in his production design, lighting design, that perfection. Yeah, there's a lot of great info on our website. I think
for sure. And that's kidswhocare.com?
Kidswhocare.org. .org. Yes,
gotcha.
Sir.
Well, we'll make sure we get some of those links up on the comments on Facebook as well. And Deb, I just really appreciative of you taking the time today, and just can't thank you enough for letting us know how you guys are doing over there on that end of the building.
I love that we had lunch. It's so great. Okay, we're going to try this sometime in real person, okay?
I'm going to do the same thing here. And any final words of wisdom for our fans out there?
I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thank you for the Arts Council. I'm thankful for the Fort Worth Community Arts Center, this reaching out to the world. I've had a blast watching these box lunches. It just connects us. At the end of the day, let's have some lunch together. I feel better already, de-stressed from calendar things and budget things, because I just got to talk to you. Okay, so thank you for doing this. We so appreciate you. Thank you very much.
You're very, very kind. And it has just been such a blessing to get to meet and visit with all of these fabulous people out here in the industry. And, you know, I've learned more than I probably ever would have if this.
You're like my new talk show to watch. I tune in, I see who you're talking to. It's so fun. So keep it up. Thank you very much for doing it.
Oh, well, I'm very appreciative for those kind words. And you also keep up the great work. And
I'll do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that does it. We're out November, and we'll be back next Monday with another episode of Box Lunch. Please be safe out there. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And Deb, I'll see you in the hallways.
Okay, good words.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Have a great afternoon, everybody. Bye-bye.